Nick Rudder from McKees 37. I'm going to showcase our Graphene Rinseless wash for this how-to video on my personal 2010 Toyota FJ Cruiser. This vehicle was ceramic coated a few months ago, and I've been maintaining it exclusively with McKees 37 products, as you can imagine. And today I'm going to showcase, like I mentioned, the Graphene Rinseless wash, which if you come in, this is the newest rinseless wash that we introduced. It's part of our graphene collection. And the easiest way to describe graphene, it's like ceramic SiO2 on steroids. It's like a supercharged ceramic. So in our line, we have a multitude of different rinseless washes. This right here is the flagship. It's the Rolls-Royce of rinseless washes. And what it does is it offers a way to wash your vehicle while only using 3 gallons of water. That's the advantage of a rinseless wash. So compared to a traditional wash where you have a bucket, you have a soapy solution, and you have a hose where you wash the vehicle, lots of suds, and you rinse it off and then you dry it. A rinseless, what you do is you have a bucket, you add the solution to the bucket, and then you take your wash media and you simply wash a panel and then you dry a panel. And you repeat that process panel by panel until the entire vehicle has been cleaned. A rinseless wash is a fantastic alternative, number one, to save you time. Number two, if you live in a country or region where there's water restrictions and it's actually illegal to wash your car, rinseless wash is great. Car show, apartment complex, or my favorite, if you live up north, when it's winter time and it's 10 degrees outside, you pull your car in the garage, turn the heater on, and you can wash your car in the comfort of your garage. So that's the rinseless wash, and the Graphene Rinseless wash, what makes it unique is it's going to clean your vehicle, removing the dirt, but it's going to add some graphene protection. And this graphene protection is compatible with all waxes, all sealants, all ceramic coatings. You don't have to have a graphene coating on your vehicle to use this product. What's more, you can dilute it to create a graphene detail spray, which makes it an incredible value. So right off the bat, you get a big 32-ounce bottle. It's hyper concentrated. You only need to use an ounce of solution for every 3 gallons of water. And what's really nice is the bottle has a built-in measuring cup. That way you don't use too little or too much product. And you simply take the caps off here and you squeeze this guy until you get the proper dilution, okay? And you'll see there just a little bit more. And we're at 1 ounce, and then you take it and you dump it in your wash bucket. Now this is our 5-gallon wash bucket. There's a lid that's included with this guy, and oh, it smells great. Like everything else we make, this product smells fantastic. So I added 1 ounce to my bucket, and then I'll use my grit guard insert to mix this solution. And you'll notice there's no suds. Come on in here. So that's what makes this rinseless wash unique, is compared to a traditional wash, there's no suds. Now, a rinseless wash, the way it works is it has high lubricity polymers that encapsulate the dirt and grime. Basically, they form the dirt particles in a bubble so you can safely remove it from the paint without scratching. And what works best for a rinseless wash is our Big Gold sponge. We developed this. It's manufactured in the USA. It's designed specifically for rinseless washes, though you can use it for traditional washes if you like. It has these cross-cut grooves and slots, and what they do is they trap dirt deep in here so you don't grind it against the paint. After you wash a panel, you agitate it against the grit guard insert, and what happens is when you agitate it like this, the dirt and the grime, it's released from the sponge, it falls to the bottom of your wash bucket, and it's trapped in the fins. So what happens is the dirt doesn't swirl back up into your wash media, therefore contaminating your paint. So I've added my solution here, but first, what I'd highly recommend doing, besides letting your sponge soak for a few minutes, is right now we have a vehicle that's dry. So when you perform a traditional wash with the hose, the first part of the instructions are rinse the vehicle to remove loose dirt and grime. With a rinseless wash, we don't have a hose to do that. So I have one of my IK multi-sprayers here. These guys are great. They're made in Europe. There's 2 different versions. One is for ketones and oils, and the other's for acidic cleaners. Really high quality, and I have 22 ounces of water in here, and I'm going to create a pre-soak solution. So again, I've got my fancy bottle here, and I'm going to squeeze, and I want to get to that 0.5 mark, that's half an ounce, and then I'm going to carefully pour it in here. And this will create a pre-wash solution that will also double as a detail spray, a waterless wash, and as you'll see in a few minutes, a drying aid as well. So I got my bottle here, I'm going to shake it up, and I'm simply going to spray the vehicle down. I'm not going to spray the entire vehicle down at once, just a few sections, because with the rinseless wash, ideally, you wash a panel and then you dry a panel. I normally cheat a little bit and I'll wash like 2 or 3 panels before I dry it. So got my sprayer, and I'm going to saturate the panel, and you'll notice right off the bat the high quality nature of this IK sprayer. It is really, really high quality. IK, they're a European company, janitorial, industrial, automotive. They make really, really good products. In my FJ, it's pretty dirty. I haven't washed it in about 6 weeks. And normally a rinseless wash, that's about as long as I'll go before I perform a traditional wash. But this will be safe for a rinseless. You just need to take your time and do it the right way. And we have a little bit of an overspray here, so I'm wasting some product, but not the end of the world. I get a really good discount on this stuff. Saturate it. Now, if I were working in direct sun and these panels were hot, I wouldn't be spraying down as much as I am. I'm only doing this because I'm in the shade, and it's always best to wash your vehicle in the shade when you can. If you can't wash it in the shade, it's not the end of the world. So I got my pre-soak there, and it smells good. It smells really good. Take my big gold sponge, and this guy holds a mountain of solution, like half a bucket. All right, it holds a lot, and you want that. You want all that solution because you want to wet the surface, because lubrication is your friend. The more lubrication for a rinseless wash, or any wash for that matter, the better. So I got my sponge here. Now, the glass is not really susceptible to scratching as much as the paint. Glass is a much harder surface, so I'm going to wash the painted surfaces first, and then I'll use what's left to wash the glass. So got my sponge here, and as I go across, I'm going to squeeze it a little bit. You'll see it release all that solution, and I'm simply going to wash like I normally would. And there's a lot of debate on the internet, no surprise there, about the best way to do this. Some guys like to use towels, some like to move their wash mitt up and down, some like to go side to side. I did flip my wash sponge, so I'm not having the dirty side on the lower sections. But what's important is that you, number one, take your time, use a product from a brand you trust and you know. A little dirt there. And with this sponge you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So I'll use this side now, I'll get creative, and I'll do the glass. There. And this is not a show car by any means. This is a 12-year-old vehicle. It's got 130,000 miles on it. This is my daily driver, you know, my beater. While it looks better than most FJs, it's still a used car. It's not like it's my Mustang. So my goal here is not a show car quality wash. This is what I call a big picture wash. And I flip my sponge one more time to another section. So now I'll take my sponge and I'm going to agitate it against that grit guard insert. I want that dirt and grime to release from my sponge and settle at the bottom. So did a good job releasing. You can see my wash mitt is not stained. So real heavy, gonna grab it, squeeze some out. And some guys like to squeeze their sponge before they clean a panel. Not me. I like to have a lot of wet solution because I want that lubrication. Lots and lots and lots of lubrication. Flip my sponge over. And sometimes in making a video you get distracted, so you forget what you wash. So if I wash something more than once, excuse me. I'm not perfect, and neither are you. Okay. Down here, flip my sponge. And this guy, what's nice about the sponge is, you'll see here I have these panels. This contorts and squeezes in there, so I really like that about the sponge. Check that out. You can see it really gets in there. If you've watched this far in the video, chances are you're pretty anal like I am, so you'll see that and you'll be like, wow, that's really cool. I want that sponge because it fits into tight areas. So now, if I were working in the sun, I would have already dried these panels by now. I'm not working in the sun, I'm in the shade, so I can go a little bit longer before I dry a panel. Because if you read the directions, or if you watch other instructional videos, what they'll tell you is to wash a panel and then immediately dry it. But with this, nothing's drying, there's no concern for anything. So I'm gonna do the hood. And as I do the hood, you're gonna have solution that runs over. So doing the fender and then the hood would be kind of silly because then the fender would get wet after I dry it. So I can do the entire hood here. And this rinseless wash, as you go across the surface, man, is it slick. It's slick, it smells good, and you'll see in a minute when I have my towel, it dries super easy. So I flipped my sponge over just now, in case you didn't catch that. If you're busy checking your Instagram to see if you got any more likes from the post you made 3 minutes ago, you might miss that. Yeah. Okay, get up here and do the windshield. This thing is fairly dirty. And I'm not gonna even worry about the roof. I'm not a very tall person, I don't see the roof. So I'm not gonna worry about that this time around. There, a little more solution. With these rinseless washes, you have to do it a few times to really get your technique down. They work really well. Me personally, I actually do a traditional wash on my own vehicles most of the time because I have the luxury of a driveway, a hose. I'm located in the free state of Florida where I'm allowed to wash my car without getting a ticket or being thrown into prison. So I tend to take advantage of that fact and I just do a traditional wash. So while I'm here, these fender flares aren't going to show swirl marks or scratches, so I'm going to clean them real quick. I'm not worried about loading up on soapy solution, or non-soapy solution, but just solution in general. Just a double dip. And I can squeeze a sponge and release more solution as needed, so that's pretty cool about a rinseless wash. Here. You know, I've made quite a few videos showcasing a rinseless wash, and every single time there's someone that comments and says, hey, you should show a really, really dirty vehicle. You know, it's like you guys are expecting me to clean a pickup truck that's just went mudding, and the fact of the matter is that you don't use a rinseless wash for that method. It's just not applicable. It's the wrong product for the job. Flip my sponge, see it's getting dirty. Okay, so for the drying, what I'm going to use is our Glacier 1100 drying towel. This is actually 2 towels sewn together. It's 1100 GSM. It's a fantastic drying towel. We have it in 3 sizes. For a rinseless wash, this size is great. And if you recall, this is my pre-soak solution that I used, and this also works well as a drying aid. So I'm going to spray this on the paint as I dry it. So I'm going to spray it on. And this is adding more lubrication. It's going to add some more protection, more gloss. Just takes a second. And if you have any solution that dried in the paint, like I'm starting to experience, this helps to re-wet it. So I've got that. Take your towel and you simply dry. And this formula dries so incredibly easy. It's insane. Some rinseless washes on the market, none of ours thankfully, but some rinseless washes, they're really difficult to dry. That's not the case with this formula. It dries really, really well. Look at that. I mean, I hardly went over it with a towel and it's already dry. Look at that, one pass, boom, it's dried. Really, really simple, really easy, really fast. So basically I'm going to repeat that process for the rest of the vehicle, and then we'll come back and I'll discuss the wheels and tires. So at this point, I've washed the entire FJ except for the wheels and tires. You'll take note that a rinseless wash is the opposite of a traditional wash in the order of the way you clean things. So with a regular wash, you do the wheels and tires first because you got dirt and grime and wheel cleaner splashing up on your paint. But with a rinseless wash, you don't really have that. So what I'm going to do is I have our solution here pre-mixed of the Graphene Rinseless wash, and I'm going to spray this onto the wheels. And right here I have our tire and rubber rejuvenator, and I'm going to spray this on the tires. And then I'm going to use an old ratty wash mitt. You can also use an old towel, or you can buy a dedicated big gold sponge just for your wheels. I would not use the same sponge that you use on the paint as the wheels because that's just not a good idea. So take my solution here, and this will help loosen the grip of the brake dust and road grime. A rinseless wash is not the best method if your wheels and tires are really, really dirty. So mine, like I said, it's been about 6 weeks. These wheels are ceramic coated. They're relatively easy to clean. So I sprayed the solution on there. And then for the tires, I've got my tire and rubber rejuvenator. And got my low profile tire brush. And spray this on. And this will get my tires nice and clean so I can apply our graphene tire shine. I'm going to take my old wash mitt, and you want to have a dedicated bucket for the wheels. You don't want to use the same bucket that you use for the paint. And just use my wash mitt here, clean this guy. This is our gold Chanel wash mitt. Has all these alien fingers that clean the face of the wheel. And for a rinseless wash, some guys like to get real technical and do the barrel of the wheel with a easy detail brush or the like. I don't get that involved. Again, this is a big picture wash. To me, a rinseless wash will never replace a traditional wash. This is just something to do in between, or if you're in a situation or a region where you cannot wash the vehicle. So I did that, and now I'll go over the tires. But first I want to spray more solution on to act as a rinse, to rinse that tire cleaner off. And I'll dunk it one more time. You can see the dirt and grime coming off the tire. Move this out of the way. And this is a real caveman way of doing this. There's really no glory, YouTube glory, in cleaning the wheels and tires with a rinseless wash. It's a dirty job. Someone's got to do it. So that wheel's done. And I'll take a couple all-purpose towels, older ones that I've had for a while. I'm not going to use my nice new towels for this. And I'll dry the wheels. And once again, it dries really easily. Dries really, really easily. So that's one of the many benefits of the Graphene Rinseless wash. So I dried my wheel first, and then using the same towel, I'll quickly go over and I'll dry the tires. And tire and rubber rejuvenator leaves minimal film on the surface. It rinses off really easily, even with a rinseless wash. And you can see how great my tires look with just a quick cleaning. And boom, the wheels and tires are now clean using a rinseless wash in addition to the rest of the paint. So I'm going to finish this process wheel by wheel, and then I'm going to put the finishing touch on by applying our Graphene tire shine. Okay, so I finished washing all the wheels and tires, and at this point I'm ready to apply our Graphene tire shine. Graphene tire shine, this is an optional step with a rinseless wash. Every time I wash my vehicle, regardless of the type of wash I use, I always dress my tires. So I've cleaned these with our tire and rubber rejuvenator. Now I'm going to apply this guy. And graphene tire shine is formulated using graphene oxide ceramic resins. It's like a ceramic SiO2 on steroids. It's a high bonding formula. It really sticks to the tire, but then again, it doesn't cause any issues down the road. It doesn't cause any kind of browning. It doesn't cause the anti-ozonants to leach out of the tire, and there's no petroleum in it. So it's an eco-friendly formula, and it's safe for you, and your skin, and the tire. So I spray it directly onto the applicator pad, and the reason I do that is to avoid overspray. I just spent a few minutes cleaning my nice glossy black and polished wheels. I don't want to get any tire shine in them, and I don't want to get any tire shine on my tire tread. So spray it on our dual action trim and tire applicator. And what I like to do is I like to divide the tire into two sections, your left and your right, and then I simply apply a nice uniform coat of the graphene tire shine. And like everything else we make, this smells fantastic. It smells really, really good, and it applies nice and evenly. It's not blotchy, it's not smeary, it's not greasy. It dries with a touch, and most importantly, it will not sling. And this is our dual action trim and tire applicator. And when I apply the tire shine, I start out on the rim of the wheel here, and you'll notice that 90-degree edge, it gets right in there, so you don't apply it all over your actual wheel. Unlike a round tire applicator sponge, you get it all over your wheel and your hands. So these are fantastic. Make sure you pick up a 3-pack of these guys for a nice uniform application. And the sponge is soft enough, it's not too dense, it's soft enough to where when you have your ridges here and your peaks and valleys, you can just blot it and you'll get tire shine in there too. So really great applicator pads. And then when I do my final swipe, you have the siphon here on the tire. These lines, I'll go this way just to remove any excess and spread it out. This is more applicable to truck and SUV tires than automotive passenger car tires, but it's helpful either way. So I've done the left side, and now I'm going to apply more tire shine to the right side. And it really does not take a whole lot of product. I'm not even doing full sprays when I do that. So this one bottle will last you quite a long time. Start off on the rim, and I spread out from there. And graphene tire shine smells really, really good. And it's going to help protect the tires from dry rotting and cracking and fading. And it'll keep them a nice dark black finish. And you can adjust the level of shine by how many coats you apply. So I stick with one coat. I'm very happy with this finish overall. If you want less of a shine, you can buff it afterwards with a microfiber towel. But for me, this is perfect. And if you want a real bling bling shine, then simply apply more. So I hope you enjoyed this video showcasing our graphene rinseless wash for both the body of the vehicle, the paint, the wheels, the tires, and then the finishing touch is our graphene rinseless wash. I'm Nick Rudder from the Keys 37. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or send us an email. Take care and God bless.